them again, dear students. So through this session we'll have practice concerning how to list references, or we are going to practice how to list references in both MLA and APA styles. So I'm going to create here file. In this file I'm going to list firstly my references that I have selected for my dissertation, because here selecting references, as we have seen, writing the literature review. It depends on the sources. We've got primary sources, and your list can contain primary sources, secondary sources, or tertiary sources. So when you start here citing, you start taking notes, you should create what? You should create file for your references. You should identify which type of references I'm going to include in my list of references. Is it a book? Is it what? Is it a chapter in a book? Or is it, for example, here a newspaper, or what? So I have what to create a table. In the table, when I'm taking notes, I should include the author's name, the date of publication, and what the title of the work, and identifying what the source, the type of the source. Is it a book, or is it a chapter in an edited book? Is it an encyclopedia? Is it what? Is it a newspaper, a magazine, a review of a book? So I have to identify the source of my book. If I'm, of my references. If I'm taken from secondary or tertiary sources, in this case, I have to check. For example, I took this references from secondary and tertiary sources. In this case, I have what to check these sources. Is it correct? The name of the author, is it correct? The date of publication, is it correct? The title of the book, is it correct? I have to check one by one, so that I will not include mistakes in my list of references. So I'm going to create a list of references. I'm going to use, of course, Times New Roman. It depends sometimes on the citation guide and on your supervisor. Sometimes you are going to follow your supervisor in selecting here the type of the font. So in our department we are using Times New Roman. In the template that we have created, we here insist on the use of Times New Roman, and the size is 12. So when you list your references in MLA or in APA, start what your reference list on a new page. Double space within and between entries, and this is in MLA. Start each new reference at the left margin. Start each new reference in the left margin. Put references in alphabetical order. You are not going to use numbers or using bullet in order to list your references. You are going to follow what? Alphabetical order, according to the first letter of the reference. Use what? A half inch hanging indent for subsequent lines of a reference. We are going to see that, and include only the sources cited in your paper. And in this case, I'm going to write works cited, or works cited in case there is only one source. Works cited should be put at the center of the page, written not in bold. Then what? I'm going to use here English. So it is double spaced and using what? half inch. So I'm going to use half inch. And of course, it is left justified. So I'm going, so this is, I have created a new page for my list of references or works cited in MLA. I'm going to create it for APA. It is the same. Select International, size 12, writing references at the center of the page. I'm going to see the formatting issues of MLA. Let us start now by APA. MLA, sorry. So here there is a point that I want you to understand. You can find bibliography, you can find works cited. So what is the difference between bibliography and works cited? And we can use it even in APA. So we use the term bibliography when you've got some additional sources that you follow. You follow them in here in your research, whether in organizing your dissertation or in following their analysis. So in this case, these sources are not found in your in-text citation, mainly in writing the literature review, but you follow them. In this case, you have to include them. And at this point, you are not going to write works cited. You are going to write bibliography, not works cited. And this is the same. It is the same in APA. So when you include here additional sources, and these sources are not found in your in-text citation, in this case, you are going to write bibliography and not works cited. And I want you as a homework to search for some terms that you are going to find in the citation guides, and I want you to search why, because they are not explained in details in these citation guides. For example, we've got annotated bibliography, or it is also called annotated list of works cited. We've got bibliography, and we've got selected bibliography, and we've got works consulted. So what are the differences between these terms? I will repeat. So what is the difference between annotated bibliography, or what is called annotated list of works cited? We've got bibliography, we've got selected bibliography, and we've got works cited, or works, consulted. So what are the differences between these terms? So as I created my list of references or my works cited, I'm going to check. For example, I took this reference from second source, or from a tertiary source. So I'm going to take the title of the book. I'm going to put it, to check it in Google. For example, in here. Okay, I'm going to check. For example, here in Google Books. So I'm going to check different pages to check what the year of publication, and to check the house of edition, all these details. So, for example, here it was published in 2004, sorry. Now I'm going to check here. So this is in 1990. I'm going to check another source. For example, in here. And here I haven't included the year of publication. For this reason, I will not find the exact date. I'm going to include it. So you should know how to search in the net concerning the source, the different sources. For example, here I'm going to include 2044, sorry, and check. Here is it. So this is the second edition. I'm going to check. So Print publication year 2004. Online publication date May 2006. So I'm going to take here the first date. Why? Because the first date, in the first date it was published. Okay, so this is the date. I'm going to take it. I'm going to check. So it is Cambridge University Press. It is the same author and it is edited. So I'm going to check all these details. Second edition, edited. So I'm going to list my reference according to that. So here is it. I checked everything and everything is correct. And here I have the author, the author's surname and his first name separated by a comma. I should put the full stop. After the full stop, I'm going to include here, it means that it is edited by Attridge, and the title of the book, you capitalize all the initial letters. Whether you are citing in, listing in MLA or in APA, you include and you write or you put your the book what in italics. So the title of the book, the title of the edited book, the title of the journal should be written in italics. After that, I should put a full stop and I'm going to include the type of the edition. When you've got first edition, in this case, I'm not going to write first ED. Okay, I'm not going to mention that it is a first edition. We mentioned that when it is second, third, and so on. After ED, I put a full stop, then comma, then I'm going to include what? The house of edition. House of edition, respecting space in between words. As you can see here, so we've got here the hanging indent. So this is the hanging indent. The hanging indent in MLA. After the date of publication, the house of edition, I'm going to put comma, then I'm going to insert the date. The date, full stop, then if the book is printed, I'm going to write print. If it is here an ebook, I'm going to provide the link and my date of access. So this is concerning the first reference. Let us check the second reference. What is it? So this is the second reference by the same author. I put it in purpose because in MLA you are not going to repeat the name of the author. I'm going to check it. In this case, I checked all these references before here taking them as practice. So this is for the second. So this is what? This is not a book. This is a book which contains many chapters. It means that a collection of chapters. You've got a reading Joyce. So this is a chapter written by Attridge. So this is the first one. Let's check here. Then that is a little bit let us check in Google Books. We may find it even in Google Books. So it is the same date. written by the same author. And it is the second edition, but in this case it is a chapter in an edited book. So in here, it is edited by the same writer. It means that the writer is the author of the whole book. He edited the book. At the same time, he wrote a chapter in that book. And here it is important to include the page number, because here this book contains a set of chapters. I'm going to list it, how to list it in MLA. In this case, I'm not going to include the author's name. I'm going to put 3 ellipses. Then, full stop. Then, ed. Then, full stop. Then I'm going to include what? The title of the chapter. The title of the chapter, whether for an edited book, title of chapter in an edited book, or title of an article in a journal, they should be put between inverted commas, as you can see here. So the full stop should be put before the last inverted commas. Then I should include the title of the whole book. So the title of the chapter should be put between inverted commas. The title of the book should be written in italics. After that, I'm going to include the name of the writer, of the author, of the editor, sorry, as you can see here. So Attridge is the editor of the book, and he wrote at the same time a chapter in the book. And it is not like in MLA. In MLA we put the full stop, then we put in the Attridge. Then between square brackets I put ed. It means that it is the editor, then the title of the book. Whereas in MLA you put the title of the book, of the edited book, then by Attridge. Then I'm going to include what? Comma. Then I'm going to include the number of the edition, then full stop, then comma, then the house of publication, then the year of publication, after comma, then page number. Page number by the end. If it is printed, I'm going to write print. If it is not, I'm going to include here the link and my date of access. So this is the second source. The second source is what? I'm identifying the source. The second source is a chapter in an edited book. Let us check the third source. So the third source is what? Is an article in newspaper. I have already checked all these sources in terms of date of publication, names of authors, titles of the articles, of everything. Okay, so in case of here we have seen different types of sources, and for of course for newspaper should include date, month, and year of publication. It is not like a journal. You should just include the date of publication, not the month and the year of publication. Sorry, not the month and the date of publication. So I have here. I'm starting with the surname, comma, then the first name. I'm including everything. Then full stop, then I'm putting the title of the article between inverted commas. Then full stop, the first stop should be put before the last inverted commas. Then here the title of the newspaper, New York Times. So New York Times should be written in italics. So titles of magazines, titles of journals, titles of newspapers should be written in what? in italics. Now I'm going to include, without comma, the date with the month, with the year of publication. Then comma, then I'm going to include the link, and full stop by the end, my date of access. Accessed 29 May 2019, as you can see here. So this is what? This is an article in a newspaper. How to list an article in newspaper. Let us now move on to the third source. Quickly to the third source. So this is a book. Okay, this is a book, as you can see here. Michel Foucault, Madness and Civilization: A History of Insanity in the Age of Reason. So this is a book written by one author. Okay, let us now move on to source number 5. The source number 5 is also a book written by one author, and we have seen how to list a book written by one author. Let us move on to the next one. So this is when the book is edited. When the book is edited, I'm going to include edited by, just after the author, the author's name, full name. Then the book written in italics, then the place of edition, then after that you have to respect punctuation. It is important to respect punctuation, and you should mention here if it is printed, write print. If it is not, write include the link and your date of access. So this is a book edited, an edited book. It means that the author writes and edits his or her book. Move on, sorry. So this is, let us check this. So this is what? This is, as you can see here, we've got the first title between inverted commas and the second title. Edited by, so it is a chapter edited, a chapter in an edited book. So we have seen that. Let us take this. This is the most important one. And check. So talking about a tool. We have seen in APA that we should include all the authors' names when they are 3. But when they are 6 and so on, you can write just the first author's first surname with the initial letter from his first name, and you include it all. But when you've got here 3 authors or 4 authors up to 5 authors, you have to write all the authors' names. But in APA and MLA, it is not. When you've got the 3 authors and so on, you include just the first author with what? With this abbreviated form. Then after the abbreviated form at all, you include the title of the book, and then the house of edition, page number. Let us now check how to list a holy book. Generally, with holy books, you are not going to find a writer, an author. It can be a set of scholars, it can be an association, or there is no name of author. So in this case, you should include what? For example, here the Holy Bible, then the house of edition. There is no author here. Then after the house of edition, comma, and when it was edited, or when it was published. So this is concerning the Holy Bible. What about listing Quran? How can we list Quran? Mainly for those who are working with analyzing passages from Quran, mainly in the field of discourse analysis. So my question is how to list the Holy Book Quran in your list of references. We have seen how to list it, the Holy Bible. Now I need you to answer my question concerning how to list the Holy Book Quran. So let us check this. Sorry. So this is a magazine. So it is written by Where's Paul. The title of the article in the magazine, then the title of the magazine, then when it was released, then the page number. So it is not like in newspaper. Sometimes you are not going to include the page number, but in a magazine you have to include the page number, and of course it has no volume or issue number. You include what? You include here the link from where you have taken the article of this magazine. Move on quickly so that we can finish with listing references in MLA, and we start listing references in APA. In APA we have seen that, but this is just a general revision so that you can be well prepared. I will send you some activities concerning listing references and in-text citation. So let's check the following one. So this is an article in a journal. How can I identify that? Let us check in the net. What is it? If you are not sure about the nature of the source, check it in the net. We're thinking the print object. I'm going to check even the page number. So, is it the same? And draw paper. So I have here, so this is of course a journal, an article in a journal. So this is the title of the article, as you can see. Here is the journal, here is the volume number, here is the issue number, and the date of publication, the page number from where the article starts until where it finishes. And you've got what is called the doigt, or what we call here the digital object identifier. The digital, what is here the purpose, or what is the use of this? It guides the reader to the article. So not all the journals have the doigt. Some journals have the doigt, some haven't. Okay. So when you find it, you include it with the article. When you are not going, when it is not found, of course there is no need to search for it. Okay. You include just the volume, the issue number, and the page number. So let us check how to list it in MLA. So you include the full name of the author, then the title of the article, which is I think in the print object, So this title should be put between inverted commas. The full stop should be put before the last inverted comma. Then you write the title of the journal in italics. There is no comma after, as in APA. Then you include what? The volume number, and it is not in italics. Then full stop. Then the issue number. Then you write what you write here, the date of publication. Then you include the number, the page number. If it is printed, you include print. If it is not, I'm going, for example, to include the link in here. So this is the link. It can guide readers. I'm going to include it here. Then date of access. I'm going to include my, for example, date of access, 28 March 2020. Okay, my date of access. I'm going to put it in Times New Roman, the same size, the same font. Okay, so this is concerning the second, this source. Take it to MLA, list, where is it? List. Checking the following one. So this is book, edited book. This is also an edited book, chapter in an edited book. In case when you've got two authors, you separate them with the comma, you put the connector and. It is not like in APA. In APA you are going to use what? You are going to use the ampersand like this. So this is the ampersand. But in MLA we use the connector and, writing their full names, then the title of the book, then the edition if it has an edition, a second edition or third edition, or then the book. So this is concerning when we've got two authors. Three authors, you put at all. So we stop here. Before that, let us return to our list. So my list should be what? Should be listed following alphabetical order. So I should list them what? Following alphabetical order. Like this. So my list now is listed following alphabetical order. As you can see here, we've got hanging indent, left justified, and my list is respecting all the guidelines of MLA. So in the third session, we're going to see how to list these references following what? Following MLA citation, or sorry, APA citation guide. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the third session.